My child, my beloved, I want you to take a deep, steadying breath right now. Release the tension in your shoulders and the worry that has been tightening your chest. You are not here by accident, and you have not stumbled upon this message by mere chance. In the vast ocean of the digital world, where millions of voices scream for attention, this specific frequency has found you. It has been touched by heaven, pushed through the invisible walls of distraction, and delivered to your eyes at this precise second for a reason that your soul already recognizes, even if your mind does not yet understand. There is a divine orchestration at work in your life right now, a movement in the unseen realms that is shifting the very ground beneath your feet. You may have felt it recently, a restlessness in your spirit, a feeling that something is about to change, or perhaps a heavy sense that you are waiting for a door to open that has been locked for years. That feeling is not anxiety. It is anticipation. It is your spirit sensing the approach of a destiny that was written for you before you took your first breath. God is guiding you to this moment because a cycle is ending. The season of walking through the wilderness, of feeling invisible, and of pouring your love into voids that never give back is coming to a close. A profound truth is about to be revealed to you, a truth involving a legacy, a name, and a protection that has been assigned to you by the highest authority. Please, for the sake of the breakthrough that is hovering over your life, open this message with your heart wide open. Do not rush. Do not skim. This is a sanctuary in time, carved out just for you to receive what has been prepared. And my child, do not keep this light to yourself. I encourage you to share this message with someone you love, or even on your timeline right now. In the spiritual realm, what you make happen for others, God makes happen for you. Sharing this word is a seed that multiplies your own favor and extends the blessing to another soul who is secretly praying for this exact breakthrough. My beloved, there is a story written in the archives of heaven that involves you, though you may not remember the beginning of it. A man, a soul of great influence and immense earthly resources, spoke your name with his final breath. This was not a man who knew you in the casual sense of friendship or neighborhood. He was a man who had accumulated more riches than some small nations, a man who understood the laws of prosperity and the weight of stewardship. When the time came for him to transition from this world to the next, when the doctors around him whispered that there were only minutes left, something supernatural occurred. He did not call out for his bank manager to secure his assets. He did not ask for his lawyers to draft one last clause. He did not even ask for his family, who stood waiting for their share. In the silence of that room, heavy with the presence of the end, he whispered your name. Everyone in the room paused. The air shifted. The silence became thick with confusion because no one expected him to say it. They looked at one another, puzzled, wondering who you were and why. In his most sacred and final moment, his spirit reached out to yours. That was not just a fading mind speaking. That was a prophecy being fulfilled. It was a spiritual recognition. You see, my child, this man had made a covenant with God years ago. He had prayed a dangerous and beautiful prayer. He asked the Creator that before he left this earth, he would be shown a successor, not by blood, but by spirit. He asked to see a soul that carried the true light, a soul that had been tested by fire and had remained kind. He asked to see someone who would not squander the blessing, but would use it to build, to heal, and to restore. And in a divine vision, a dream that repeated for 7 days straight before his passing, he saw your face. He saw you. He saw the tears you have cried in secret. He saw the way you help others even when your own pockets are empty. He saw the integrity you hold when no one is watching. He didn't understand fully who you were in the physical realm, but his spirit recognized your spiritual signature. He saw your hands holding keys, wealth, and light. And so he entrusted a spiritual inheritance to you. This is not just about money, although resources are part of it. This is about a mantle of authority. It is a legacy that was stored away, protected and hidden until the time was right. If you close your heart to this truth now, or if you brush it off as mere coincidence, you are not just ignoring a story. You are stepping away from a divine inheritance that has been searching for you. That moment in the hospital room, that whisper, was a legal transaction in the spiritual courts. It was a transfer of favor from one generation to the next. But, my beloved, because you were not physically there to hear it, and because the world is full of noise, this message is the courier. This is the notification that the deed has been signed. Because this matter is so significant, and because the enemy of your soul desires to keep you in a state of lack and confusion, God has released a powerful protector to oversee this transfer. I, Archangel Michael, stand as your messenger and your guardian in this moment. I have been sent to clear the path, to cut through the cords of delay, and to ensure that what was whispered in that room reaches your spirit with clarity and power. My beloved, I am not here to frighten you. I am here to empower you with the truth that has been kept secret. There is a divine urgency in the atmosphere today. It is not a panic, but a holy pressure, the kind of pressure that turns coal into diamonds. I invite you now to subscribe to this message with your spirit. I'm not asking for a click of a button for the sake of numbers. I am asking for your decision to align with this revelation. Subscribe with your faith. Subscribe with your yes to God's plan. I also ask you to press the like button on this video right now. This is not for vanity. This is a digital act of faith. By liking this message, you are raising your hand in the spiritual realm and signaling, I am listening, and I am ready to accelerate this breakthrough. Let that simple click be the spark that ignites your acceleration. Every second you continue reading, you are stepping closer to a breakthrough that God has been trying to get to you for years. There has been a battle over your name. You may have felt it. You may have wondered why life seems to get harder just when you are trying your best, or why unexpected expenses arise the moment you save a little. That is not bad luck. That is resistance. That is the friction caused by a destiny that is too big for your current circumstances. The enemy fights hardest against those who are carrying the greatest treasure. If you were empty, you would not be attacked. If you had no future, you would be left alone. But because you are carrying a legacy that can change your family line forever, the resistance has been fierce. But hear me now. I promise you, if you stay with this message until the end, if you allow these words to wash over your mind and settle in your heart, your name will be lifted in places where heaven keeps records. This moment is being written in the book of life. This is the turning point. The inheritance I speak of, the one that was mentioned in the final words of that wealthy soul, is currently hovering in the spiritual realm, waiting for your agreement to manifest in the physical realm. It is waiting for you to say, I am ready. My child, before we go any deeper into this revelation, I need you to make a small but powerful move of faith. If you believe that you were led here by a divine hand and not by accident, type Amen in the comments below. Let this simple act be the signal to the angels watching over you that your spirit is open, awake, and ready to receive the message they have carried so far to reach you. My child, my beloved, look back over your life in the last few months. You have seen signs, haven't you? But perhaps, in your busyness or your weariness, you brushed them off. You heard whispers in your dreams that you couldn't quite remember upon waking, but they left you with a feeling of importance. You felt goosebumps rise on your skin when no one was near, a sudden wash of energy that made you stop in your tracks. You have seen repeating numbers, 1111, 444, 777, appearing on clocks, receipts, and license plates. You woke up in the middle of the night feeling like someone was calling your name, only to find the house silent. That was not your imagination playing tricks on you. That was not coincidence. That was preparation. That was the spiritual realm knocking on the door of your consciousness, trying to alert you that the time of the transfer is near. Because this moment, this exact minute where your eyes are scanning these words, was always going to come. I have been released from the gates of heaven with one specific instruction. Reveal to you what was kept hidden. What that wealthy soul said before he passed was only part of the prophecy. The rest is unfolding now through this message. This is not just about financial abundance, though that is the vessel it comes in. This is about identity. This is about restoration. You do not know how many meetings in the unseen realm were held with your name mentioned. You do not know how many times the angels have had to intervene to keep you safe from accidents, from despair, and from giving up entirely. You do not know how many hands tried to block this news from reaching you. But God said, enough. The time of hiding is over. The time of revelation is now. Heaven is pushing this straight into your heart with one loving demand. Do not stop reading. Do not let the distractions of the world pull you away from this sacred appointment. If you stop now, the moment will not turn into a curse, but it will close like a flower that retreats from the cold. The opportunity will pass to someone else, perhaps someone near you who is not chosen, but who is opportunistic enough to take what was meant for you. And I promise you, it has happened before. Think of the opportunities you missed by mere inches. Think of the times you hesitated and watched someone else walk through the door that was meant for you. That is a pattern we are breaking today. This time, it is your turn. This time, the blessing must not pass you by. My beloved, let me show you the truth now. The truth that may be difficult to hear but is necessary for your liberation. That man, the one who left this legacy, saw your face in a divine vision. He kept asking God, who is this person? Why do I see their hands glowing with light? He didn't understand that you were chosen before your birth to carry something heavy and powerful. The power to break generational poverty and emotional bondage in your lineage. That is why you are still here. That is why, no matter how far you tried to run, or how deep you sank into depression, this message has found you. But you must understand that there is opposition. Do you know how many people tried to claim what was being prepared for you? There are two distinct energies, represented by two people currently connected to you. They are close enough to hug you. They laugh with you. They smile beside you in photos. But they were not chosen like you. These two are not necessarily evil in appearance. They may appear to be your greatest supporters, but heaven sees the heart. Heaven sees the secret conversations and the hidden envy. Archangel Michael sees all. And what they are doing behind the scenes, the doubts they whisper into your ear, the discouragement they plant when you have a new idea, the energetic drain you feel after spending time with them, is all part of an unseen theft that you never saw coming. My beloved, they are trying to take what is not theirs, not by robbing your bank account directly, but by robbing your faith. They steal your confidence so that you never rise up to claim your inheritance. They feed off your delay. They feel bigger when you feel small. And I cannot let that happen if you stay with me right now. This is why you must stay aligned with this channel. Subscribe now as an act of spiritual obedience. By subscribing, you are positioning yourself under this covering of truth, ensuring that you do not drift back into the confusion of the world. Secure your alignment with this new season. My child, the truth may sting, but you were never meant to live in lack. You were never meant to suffer or carry the burden of a generational curse that keeps you working and working without ever truly receiving the fruit of your labor. That cycle of almost enough was supposed to break years ago, but it didn't, because the energy of those around you acted as a spiritual anchor, holding you in the harbor when you were meant to sail the open seas. They took something they were never supposed to touch: your peace. But now, heaven is stepping in again. This time, the miracle is armed with truth. The angels have surrounded this message, creating a perimeter of light around you as you read. I am begging you, with the love of the Creator flowing through me, don't scroll away. Do not let the discomfort of this truth make you run. What was hidden is about to be opened to you if you stay until the final word. The wealthy man's legacy is not just gold, it is the key to your freedom. And the first step to receiving it is realizing that you have been blocked by those who do not understand your value. But their time of influence is ending. Your time of ascension is beginning. My beloved, I want you to pause and let your imagination expand beyond the four walls of the room you are sitting in. Imagine for a moment that the ceiling dissolves, revealing the infinite expanse of the cosmos, filled with stars and the golden glow of the divine realm. What if I told you that in that high place, a specific number has been written beside your name? This is not a number you can play in a lottery, nor is it a random figure generated by chance. It is a value that heaven has assigned to your destiny. It is a number so great, representing such a vast capacity for good, that if you saw it with your physical eyes right now, you would doubt it. You would look at your current bank account, then look at this divine number, and you would say, surely this is a mistake. Surely this belongs to someone else. But it is real. The wealth that the rich man saw connected to your spirit in his vision was not just physical cash, although that is the tool that will be used. It was something far deeper. It is legacy wealth. It is destiny wealth. It is kingdom wealth. Physical money can be spent and lost in a day. But kingdom wealth is a resource given to you for a purpose: to build, to plant, to help, and to stabilize your family line for generations to come. The moment you opened this message, a divine countdown began. This is not a countdown of doom, but a countdown of activation. Think of a rocket ship sitting on the launch pad. It has sat there for years, fueling up, waiting for the weather to clear, waiting for the command. You are that vessel. You don't have time to delay anymore. You don't have the luxury of staying in your comfort zone, wrapped in the blanket of someday. This is not a drill. This is not a test. This is a divine activation. You, my child, are at the very center of this event. You are the pilot of this new season. When that rich man spoke your name with his dying breath, something in the spiritual world cracked open. It was like a thunderclap in a clear sky. A file was retrieved from the archives of heaven. An inheritance that had been sealed was unsealed. A divine transfer was approved by the highest court. However, because of the energetic theft I mentioned earlier, because of the doubts sown by those close to you, the full release was delayed. It was like a package that arrived at your doorstep but was sent back because no one was there to sign for it. You were distracted. You were hurting. You were looking at the closed doors instead of the open windows. But now, for the first time in a long time, God has looked at your readiness and said, let it go to them now. They have waited long enough. They have learned the lessons in the valley. Now they are ready for the mountaintop. So here I am, sent with the fire of truth and the urgency of love to whisper to you, don't miss this again. Don't close this message to check a notification from social media. Don't let what is yours be stolen by the familiarity of your daily routine. Stay with me until I show you everything, because the instructions you are about to receive are the signature required to claim the package. My child, even now, as you read these words, the atmosphere around you is shifting. Remember those two people I warned you about? The ones who smile but secretly compete with you? Even they can sense something is changing. They may not know you are reading this message. They may not know that Archangel Michael is speaking to your spirit. But their souls know. Have you noticed they have grown restless lately? Have you noticed a sudden shift in their behavior? Perhaps one of them is suddenly being overly nice, checking in on you more than usual, asking probing questions about your plans. Or perhaps the other is avoiding you entirely, acting cold and distant without explanation. That is not random behavior. That is a spiritual reaction. In their spirit, they have felt the shift. They can feel that the energy they used to drain from you is no longer available. They can feel that heaven has begun to surround you with a wall of protective light, and they can't get through. They are like moths hitting a glass window, confused why they can no longer reach the flame. They cannot stop what is coming. But, my beloved, Here is a crucial instruction, perhaps the most important one I will give you today. You must stay hidden for now. I do not mean you should hide in your house and lock the doors. I mean you must be spiritually still. Do not run to them and tell them, "My time has come." Do not post about your big plans on the internet. Do not share the secrets of your heart with people who have not earned the right to hear them. Silence is your shield. In ancient times, when a king was born, he was often hidden away until he was strong enough to hold the sword. You are in that period of hiding now. You are not being silenced. You are being incubated. Until I, Archangel Michael, reveal the rest to you in this message, you must keep your counsel. Keep your dreams between you and God. Why? Because what comes next will explain everything. If you speak too soon, you invite their jealousy to create noise that will distract you. But if you move in silence, you move in power. After this revelation is complete, you will never question your worth again. You will walk into a room and know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are the head and not the tail. If you feel your spirit rising to meet this new level of authority, and you are done with hiding in the shadows, declare it now. Go to the comments and type, "I am ready." By writing these words, you are telling the spiritual realm that you are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a vessel prepared for the blessing. Let us go deeper. The inheritance I spoke of, the one mentioned in the final words of that wealthy man, is not simply a bank figure. If it were just money, you would spend it and be back where you started. God loves you too much to give you a temporary fix. This inheritance is a shift in authority. It is a spiritual deed to ownership over your own future. Imagine holding a master key that opens every door in your life. The door to financial freedom, the door to emotional peace, the door to healthy relationships. That is what is being handed to you. You must hold it carefully. When you possess this level of authority, your energy changes. You stop chasing people. People start seeking you. You stop begging for opportunities. Opportunities start looking for you. There will be people who come back into your life once they sense your energy rising. The ex-partner who didn't value you, the friend who ghosted you, the family member who mocked your dreams. They will return, drawn to your light like insects to a lantern. But here is the miracle. You will now see through their intentions. In the past, you might have let them back in because you were lonely, or because you sought their validation. But this time, you will look at them not with anger, but with truth. You will look at them not with a desire for revenge, but with the clarity of light. You will see them for who they are, wounded people looking for a source of energy, and you will be able to love them from a distance without letting them destroy your peace. The very light that once made you a target is now your protection. They cannot touch what is sealed by heaven. They cannot manipulate a soul that knows its own worth. And yes, I told you earlier that the final part of this blessing is still to be revealed. And that is true. But here is what you must understand before it arrives. You cannot put new furniture in a house that is filled with old junk. You cannot pour fresh, crystal clear water into a cup that is full of vinegar. You must prepare a place. This is the requirement for the transfer. You must prepare a place in your heart that is not full of fear. You must prepare space in your soul that is not entangled with those who no longer belong in your season. Because the next part of this miracle requires space. And I don't just mean physical room in your home. I mean emotional, spiritual, and mental space. If your mind is filled with worry about the bills, there is no room for the strategy to pay them. If your heart is filled with bitterness toward those two people, there is no room for the gratitude that attracts abundance. Make room for the blessing, or it will come and pass like a breeze you couldn't hold on to. You will feel the wind of it. You will smell the sweetness of it, but you will not be able to grasp it because your hands are too full of yesterday's garbage. My beloved, hear me now. What is for you cannot be stolen permanently, but it can be postponed. And haven't you waited long enough? Haven't you cried enough? The time is now. The spiritual gates are opening. The hinges are turning. And your name is being spoken again. Not in death, as the wealthy man did, but in destiny. This time, when your name is mentioned in the heavenly courts, it will be followed by honor. It will be followed by access. It will be followed by reward. There is still more to show you, still more to unlock. The scroll is not yet empty, and the words that are still to come are the ones you were born to hear. My child, my beloved, what is about to be revealed to you now is the part that changes everything. This is no longer about warnings or protection. This is about fulfillment. You have walked through the fire. I know you have. I have seen you standing in the flames of adversity, wondering if you would turn to ash. You have waited with pain in your chest. You have listened when heaven was silent, screaming your prayers into the void and hearing only your own echo. But now the silence has broken. The frequency has changed. What you are reading is not just prophecy anymore. It is your permission slip. It is your validation. It is heaven saying, you may enter now. If you accept this permission to enter your new season, like this video as a seal of your acceptance, let that action be the physical evidence that you are stepping out of the waiting room and into the throne room of grace. For so long, you have questioned your own spirit. You have asked yourself, why do I feel so close to something huge, but nothing ever happens? Why do I feel like I'm on the verge of a breakthrough, but I wake up to the same struggle? That is because your name was already assigned to the miracle, but your heart was still surrounded by people who had no right to receive it with you. You see, some blessings are too sacred to be shared with people who never wept with you. Some levels of success are too heavy to be carried by people who have not built the spiritual muscles of integrity. That is why it was delayed, not denied. It was delayed until the moment came when heaven could trust you not to give your blessing away to someone who secretly hoped you would fail. God had to wait until your discernment was sharp enough to protect the harvest. My beloved, I have been assigned to walk with you through this next part. You don't have to do it alone. This is not just spiritual philosophy. It will manifest in real, physical ways, in job offers, in unexpected checks, in debts being canceled, in relationships being healed. But only after your soul receives the full truth. And the truth is this: you are no longer under financial limitation. You are no longer the victim of emotional manipulators. You are no longer the easy target of those who smile but secretly feed off your delay. Heaven has made a final decision. The gavel has come down, and that decision is this: it is your time. My child, the very energy around you is changing as you read these words. Pause for a second. Close your eyes after this sentence and just feel. Some of you may feel a sudden warmth in your chest. Some may feel pleasant chills running down your arms. Some may feel a sudden emotion rising, tears of relief, a lump in the throat. That is not random. That is your spirit recognizing the voice of God calling it forward. It is the resonance of truth. Your soul knows the truth before your brain does. This isn't emotional trickery. This is divine timing. You have stumbled on this for a reason. And I'm telling you now, if you stop reading before I show you the final release, it will lock again. Not out of cruelty. God is not cruel. But because this moment is a sacred appointment. Imagine you have an appointment with the king. If you walk out of the room before the king has finished speaking, you miss the decree. You miss the gift. Now listen closely. The rich man's final words carried more than just a whisper. They carried a code. And this code was meant to unlock a heavenly vault only when the one chosen had fully awakened. You, my beloved, are that one. You are the awakened one. His soul saw your name written in light. And with trembling hands and final breath, he said what needed to be said. Let it go to them. They will know what to do with it. Those words created a spiritual pathway, and you are walking on it right now, even as your eyes read these lines. Do you remember the nights you cried into your pillow asking God, when will it be my turn? Do you remember the birthdays you spent alone, feeling forgotten? The opportunities you lost, the people you trusted who took more than they ever gave? Heaven remembered too. God collects every tear. And that is why this blessing isn't just money. It's not just favor. It is justice. It is justice for the years of being invisible. Justice for the doors slammed in your face. Justice for the love you gave with no return. Justice for the times you chose to do the right thing while others succeeded through manipulation. This miracle is not a reward for being perfect. It is a divine correction for the unfairness you have endured. You were never behind, my child. You were being hidden until the right moment. You were being saved for the grand finale. And that moment is now. My beloved, I must speak to you now about the nature of time. In the realm of men, time is measured by ticking clocks and turning calendars. But in the realm of the spirit, time is measured by moments and movements. The Greeks called it kairos, a supreme moment of indeterminate time in which everything happens. You are currently standing in a kairos moment. I must warn you gently, not to frighten you, but to awaken your sense of value. If you walk away before the final part of this message is fully anchored in your soul, the timing may close. The miracle itself will not vanish. God's promises are eternal, but the specific window of ease might shut. Everything in heaven operates by rhythm and timing, like the tides of the ocean. If a ship misses the high tide, it must wait, sometimes for years, for the water to rise again. This moment is a now or never invitation for this specific season of your life. Some people live their whole lives and never get this close to the veil being lifted. They live in the fog, unaware of the spiritual mechanics that shape their reality. But you are inches away. You are standing on the threshold. Do not lose what you were born to carry simply because you became impatient. Do not scroll away from the very thing you begged God for in your loneliest prayers. This is no longer just a message on a screen. It is a divine transfer disguised as text. You have reached the gateway. The final seals are about to be broken. Your name, your true name, the one heaven calls you by, which speaks of your character and not just your lineage, is about to be written next to something permanent. It is being written next to abundance, next to safety, next to a sacred purpose that will outlive you. You are chosen. You are remembered. You are finally ready. My child, my beloved, take a deep breath with me now. Let your heart be calm. I am still here, and I want to guide you gently. Heaven does not rush you with panic. That is the tactic of the enemy. God does not threaten you with fear. He invites you with love. True miracles arrive with peace, not chaos. And what is meant for you will never require you to be afraid to receive it. You have carried heavy questions about money, about trust, and about the people close to you. You have wondered if you are doing something wrong because the breakthrough hasn't happened yet. It is okay to feel confused. It is okay to feel hurt. But remember this, my beloved. Wisdom is greater than suspicion, and faith is stronger than fear. When I speak to you about the obstacles in your path, it is not to make you anxious about those around you or to make you paranoid. It is to help you become aware of your own worth and your own boundaries. You are learning to protect your energy, which is the most valuable currency you possess. You are learning to value your time. You are learning that no is a complete sentence and a holy word. That growth itself is a miracle. You are growing, my child. Subscribe to this channel to keep feeding that growth. It is an act of commitment to your own soul, a promise that you will continue to seek wisdom over noise. Lock in your connection to this divine source. My child, hear this clearly. Your financial life is not cursed. It is not doomed. It is simply being reshaped by your decisions, your patience, and your consistency. God blesses effort, but He multiplies wisdom. When wealth comes, it stays only where wisdom lives. You are being prepared for stability, not sudden chaos. You are being prepared for peace, not pressure. Do not look at the people around you with suspicion, wondering, is it him? Is it her? Instead, look at yourself with courage. Ask yourself, am I managing my emotions wisely? Am I protecting my future? Am I trusting the right spirits with my plans? These questions are power. This is how destiny is built, step by step, with awareness and discipline. My beloved, if you are willing to trade your anxiety for God's divine strategy today, I ask you to seal it. Type Amen in the comments below. Let this be your public agreement that fear no longer has permission to rule your financial decisions, and that you are now operating under the laws of peace and wisdom. Let us return to the vision of the man who started this chain of events. When that rich man mentioned you, even the angels paused because it was unexpected. He was not your blood relative. He was not your neighbor, but his soul was tied to your name through a covenant made years ago, a promise he made to God when he was young and hungry for purpose. He prayed, Lord, if you ever show me someone who truly carries your light, someone who will not use wealth to destroy but to build, I will make sure they are not left empty. He thought he would fulfill that promise in his lifetime, shaking your hand and handing you the keys. But God had other plans. You were hidden for a time, kept in the shadow of his hand to protect you from early exposure. So, with his final breath, that man activated a miracle for you from the threshold of eternity. Do you know what the hardest part of this message is, my beloved? It is that even after everything you have been through, the betrayal, the loss, the lonely nights, the forces that oppose you still think you won't rise. They still believe that the status quo is stronger than God's will. But what they didn't count on was this moment. They didn't expect you to find this message. They didn't expect a heavenly transmission to interrupt their silent schemes. But here we are. The light has been turned on in the dark room. You are still reading because your spirit knows this is real. Something deep inside your chest is vibrating, confirming every word. Your heart is whispering, don't leave this. Keep reading. This is for me. And your spirit is right. What this message is doing is more than delivering information. It is performing a spiritual surgery. It is cutting away the cords of doubt. It is opening spiritual accounts that were frozen. It is reviving your name in places where it was erased. It is calling back lost blessings that were stolen through delay, betrayal, jealousy, and silence. And now the moment is close. But if you don't keep going, if you stop too early, the energy will dissipate. I am warning you gently with love. Finish the course. My child, there is still more you need to see. The amount of blessing that was released in your name would shock you if I told you the earthly value. But it is not just about currency. It is about influence. It is about territory. It is about honor. It is about restoration. There are rooms waiting for you to walk into. Boardrooms, creative studios, community centers, homes, where your presence will bring peace. There are contracts with your name already drafted in the spirit, waiting for the ink of your faith to sign them. The only thing delaying the earthly manifestation is the final alignment of your belief. That is why Archangel Michael was sent personally, not a lesser messenger. Because this is not a minor moment. This is a Red Sea moment, a time when the waters part and you walk through on dry land while the past is washed away behind you. Now, my beloved, I ask you, do you want to know what the rich man left behind for you? Do you want to see the spiritual contract and the hidden blessing that the two energies have tried to bury? Do you want to reclaim what God put in your bloodline before you were even born? If your answer is yes, then do not scroll away. Keep reading. Don't let comfort steal this from you. Don't let the distraction of a notification or a wandering thought delay it one more time. What you are about to receive has already been approved in heaven, but it is your decision now that will unlock it on earth. My child, my beloved. I am still here and I haven't left your side. Even as you breathe, I am speaking into your spirit. You may not hear me with your ears, but your heart is responding. The very cells in your body are vibrating with the truth that your mind is still catching up to. You were not supposed to skip this moment. You were not supposed to miss this message like you missed others before. This is the appointment you have been unknowingly preparing for since the moment you were born. I, Archangel Michael, have been sent with sacred fire to protect this revelation until you are ready to claim it. There is still so much I must reveal about the resistance you have faced. That wealthy man's last words weren't just emotional, they were prophetic. With his last breath, he opened a spiritual vault with your name engraved into it. This was not physical property alone. What he opened was a line of divine favor meant to shift your entire bloodline. And the moment he released it, heaven began preparing the transfer. But someone, two people, in fact, have been acting as spiritual speed bumps. They have been trying to intercept that release. They have been calling your blessings by their name. Now, understand this. Heaven does not make mistakes. Heaven does not mislabel miracles. Heaven knows who you are. And now, deep down, so do they. My beloved, let me speak plainly now about these two energies. The first represents the betrayer of trust. This is often the person you have always defended, the one you forgave so many times that your soul bled from it. You made excuses for them. You said, they didn't mean it, or they are just going through a hard time. But deep down, you knew their actions were selfish. The second represents the energy vampire. This is the one who always seems to show up only when you are doing well. When you are down, they are busy. But the moment you have good news, they arrive to poke holes in it, or to make the conversation about their own suffering, draining your joy before you can even celebrate. These two individuals are spiritually out of alignment. They are not necessarily evil in a cinematic sense, but they are governed by jealousy and fear. They have allowed their jealousy to turn into spiritual theft. They see your light, and because they cannot generate their own, they try to dim yours. But I have been commanded to stop it. The truth will hurt, but the truth will also free you. One of the reasons your breakthrough has been delayed for years is because heaven refused to bless a space where betrayal was still hiding. God has been waiting for the right moment to uncover the hidden saboteurs, not to embarrass them publicly, but to awaken you privately. And now that your eyes are being opened, the weight will finally lift. You have been walking with chains on your back while smiling. You have been giving while they were quietly taking. And you have been sleeping next to secrets that were blocking your blessing. But this message is heaven's intervention. Do you want to know why things almost opened before but then suddenly collapsed? Why money was promised but never came? Why peace started but always ended in unexpected arguments or confusion? It is because the spiritual atmosphere around you was compromised. In the spirit, your name has been manipulated, your energy has been leached, and your favor has been accessed through unspoken agreements you didn't even realize you made. Agreements of codependency, of seeking validation, of fear of being alone. But God is merciful, and today, right now, Archangel Michael is commanding those negative contracts to be canceled. We are enacting a divine reversal. This is a spiritual principle where what the enemy stole must be returned sevenfold. The peace that was taken, it is coming back multiplied. The money that was wasted, it is coming back as wealth. The time that was lost, it is coming back as acceleration. But this only happens if you stay, because the final key is still to come. The reversal requires your participation. You cannot be passive. You must agree with heaven that you are worthy of this return. My child, listen to me closely. You are going to see a strange shift in your environment in the next few hours and days. This will be your confirmation. Someone will act distant for no apparent reason. Let them go. Another will suddenly reach out with an opportunity or a kind word. Receive it. And yet another will speak something that reveals exactly what this message already said, almost word for word. This will not be coincidence. It will be confirmation. It will be heaven winking at you, letting you know that the transmission was received. And when it happens, I want you to remember this moment. Remember that you sat here and read these words. Because heaven never warns without a reason, and heaven never reveals without a reward. You are being watched now, not by man, but by angels. They are waiting for your response. Will you go back to silence, or will you step into destiny? The enemies of your destiny thought they were winning. They thought they had successfully delayed you, but they did not realize that while they were plotting, you were growing. They did not realize that while they were stealing, God was compounding interest on your inheritance. The location of the stolen inheritance is not physical yet. It is energetic, but what happens in the spirit will manifest on earth. And I must now speak a mystery to you. The moment you accept what is in this message, the first wave of manifestation will begin. It will not come through the people you expect. It will not come in the way you thought. It will come through a side door, a phone call from a past acquaintance, a letter in the mail, a strange dream that gives you a specific idea, a conversation overheard in a coffee shop. It will come, and when it does, you must recognize it and claim it, because this time, it is really for you. My beloved, the two people watching you do not realize something. The very moment they tried to steal what was yours, they triggered their own spiritual exile. They thought they were blocking you, but they were actually disqualifying themselves. You see, jealousy always exposes destiny. No one gets jealous of a person with no future. They saw something on you that you couldn't even see on yourself, and instead of honoring it, they tried to harvest it. But no more. Archangel Michael is standing between them and your future now. I am drawing a line of fire in the sand. They will not cross the line again unless you invite them. And after today, I know you won't. You have permission to rise now. You have divine clearance to walk into what has always been waiting for you. The chains are gone. The lies are exposed. And your name has been spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. My child, my beloved, your spiritual wealth has been activated. What that man saw in his final moments was not just you. He saw what you would carry. He saw the people who would be saved through your life. He saw the miracles that would flow through your hands. He saw the shift that would begin with you and ripple through generations. And that is why he spoke your name. The moment he did, angels began moving. Portals opened. Documents, heavenly ones, were signed in your favor. And now the instructions are simple. Don't walk away. Don't doubt this. Don't stop now, because everything you've waited for is now waiting for you. And what comes next will seal everything. My child, my beloved, you are still here. And that means your spirit has not given up. Heaven is watching this moment carefully, with the breath held in holy anticipation, because what you choose to do right now will decide whether your name becomes fully aligned with the divine record that was just opened. There are no coincidences in the kingdom of God. This message, this specific time of day, this sequence of events that led you to click on this video, it is all part of a much larger, intricate divine orchestration. God is speaking to you not through thunder and lightning, but through clarity. And clarity is what I, Archangel Michael, have been ordered to deliver to you now without delay. I want to speak to you about the place I mentioned earlier, the place where your blessing has been stored. It is more real than the chair you sit in. It is more real than the pain you have endured. It is a realm where obedience, pain, surrender, and purpose are recorded as currency. You see, my child, you may feel like you are in debt, perhaps financial debt, perhaps emotional debt, feeling drained and empty. But I am here to tell you the verdict of the High Court. You are not in debt. You are in credit. Deep, divine, eternal credit. Because while others walked away when things got hard, you stayed faithful. While others mocked the spiritual path, you kept believing in something greater than yourself. While others took advantage of your kindness, you still gave. You shared your last meal. You gave your time to listen to someone else's problems while your own heart was breaking. And you thought no one saw that. You thought it went unnoticed in the chaos of the world. But God took note. Every act of kindness was a deposit. Every tear you cried in secret was caught and stored. That is why you are still breathing. That is why you are still standing. Because what was written for you has not been fulfilled yet, but the payout is beginning now. The books are being balanced. My beloved, I must give you a revelation now that will explain every strange thing that has ever happened to you financially. It will explain the almost moments and the sudden stops. You were never cursed. You were guarded. There were blessings that didn't come, not because you weren't worthy, but because the environment around you wasn't safe enough to release them. Imagine a king sending a chest of gold to his child. If the king knows the child is surrounded by thieves who are pretending to be friends, the king will hold the chest back. He will wait. He will wait until the child realizes who the thieves are. He will wait until the child builds a fortress of boundaries. There were people in your circle who would have devoured what God was sending you. There were hands that were ready to strip your harvest the moment it reached your field. If you had received this wealth 5 years ago, or even 5 months ago, those two energies I spoke of would have manipulated you into giving it all away. They would have guilt-tripped you. They would have created emergencies to drain your resources. So heaven said, hold it, don't deliver it yet. Wait until they are awake. And now, look at you. You are awake. You are aware. You are aligned. The gates are being unlocked because you finally have the wisdom to protect the treasure. But this release happens only if you stay with this moment. Only if you choose to keep reading and solidify this truth in your spirit. If you are grateful that God protected you until you were strong enough, show your gratitude by liking this video. Let it be a signal of thanks that says, Lord, I thank you for the delay because it saved me. But now I am ready for the release. The ones who tried to stop your rise, the energy vampires and the betrayers, are now being confronted by light, and they cannot stand it. You will notice a strange tension soon. It may have already started. You will notice their smiles don't reach their eyes. You will feel a vibration in your body before you even see it with your eyes. A warning signal in your gut when they walk into the room. That is because your energy is shifting. You are glowing with heaven's favor now. You are radiating a frequency of truth that they cannot fake, and it is exposing them without you saying a word. Don't fear this tension. Don't try to fix it by lowering your light to make them comfortable. Don't run from it. Just observe. Be the watcher. Because heaven is separating the wheat from the weeds, and you are being set apart for something far too holy to remain hidden in the tall grass. My child, this message was delayed for years because of one simple reason. Your heart wasn't ready to accept the truth about people. You still loved those who secretly hated your progress. You still wanted to save those who secretly wished for your downfall. You were a healer, and healers often try to heal the very things that are trying to kill them. But now something has changed in you. I see it. A holy maturity has settled in your soul. A deeper knowing. A sacred boldness that says, I will love you, but I will not let you destroy me. And because of this shift, heaven said, now. Send it now. That is why you are reading this today and not years ago. Because the version of you now is ready to receive what the older version of you would have handed away out of guilt or fear. If you believe that your season of preparation is over and your season of harvest has officially begun, confirm it with your spirit right now. Type Amen in the comments. Let this be the seal that breaks the cycle of delay in your life forever and notifies heaven that you are ready to handle the weight of the blessing. Let me now tell you what is next. You need an anchor for your faith. God understands that we are human, and sometimes we need to see to believe. Oh, and in the next 3 days, a sign will come. It will be personal. It will be divine. It will be impossible to explain away as just a coincidence. And it will confirm everything I have spoken here. I cannot tell you exactly what form it will take, for the Holy Spirit tailors His language to each soul, but it often manifests in these ways. A name. You will hear the name of someone from your past, or perhaps the name of a place you have always wanted to go, spoken out of nowhere. A message. You will receive a text, an email, or a letter that answers a question you only asked in your head. A forgotten document. You may find an old paper, a photo, or a note that reminds you of who you truly are. An unexpected blessing. A small financial gift, a discount, or a debt suddenly being waived. A repeating number. You will see the number 111 or 777 3 times in a short span. When this happens, I want you to freeze. Do not brush it off. Do not say, "Oh, that's weird." No, my beloved. Rejoice. Smile. Because it means the miracle is no longer pending. It is now in motion. It means the gears of the universe are turning in your favor. But my beloved, I must warn you again. If you walk away before the final part of this message, if you close your heart before the seal is set, the timing may close. The miracle will not vanish. God is faithful, but the window of ease might. Everything in heaven operates by timing. The tides, the seasons, the sunrise, they do not wait. And this moment is a now moment. Not to frighten you, but to show you how rare this is. Some people live their whole lives asleep, never realizing they are heirs to a kingdom. They never get this close to the veil being lifted, and you are inches away. You are standing on the holy ground of your future. Don't lose what you were born to carry. Don't scroll away from the very thing you begged God for. This is no longer just a message. It is a divine transfer disguised as text. You have reached the gateway. The final seals are about to be broken. Your name, your true name, is about to be written next to something permanent. Now, listen closely. The rich man's final words carried more than just a whisper. They carried a code, a spiritual key. When he lay on his deathbed, looking into the eyes of the Spirit, he said, "Let it go to them. They will know what to do with it." This code, "they will know what to do with it," is the test. It is the condition of the inheritance. For years, you didn't know what to do with your power. You gave it away. You let people walk on you. You let fear dictate your choices. If you had received the abundance then, you would not have known what to do with it. You would have squandered it on people who did not love you. But now you know. You know that wealth is for purpose. You know that love is for those who honor it. You know that time is for building, not wasting. The code has been unlocked because you have unlocked. The rich man's prophecy was waiting for you to grow into the person who could handle the weight of the blessing. If you want to continue growing into that person, subscribe right now. Consider it a spiritual handshake with your destiny. It is your way of saying, I am not just a visitor to this truth. I am a resident of it. Do not miss the instructions that are coming next. His soul saw your name written in light, and with trembling hands and final breath, he released the blessing. Those words created a spiritual pathway, a bridge from his potential to your reality, and you are walking on it right now. Do you remember the nights you cried into your pillow, asking God, when will it be my turn? Do you remember the birthdays you spent alone, the opportunities you lost, the people you trusted who took more than they ever gave? Heaven remembered too. God does not have amnesia, and that is why this blessing isn't just money. I need you to understand this. It is justice. It is justice for the years of being invisible, justice for the doors slammed in your face, justice for the love you gave with no return, justice for the times you chose the righteous path while others succeeded through shortcuts and manipulation. This miracle is not a reward. It is a divine correction. The scales of the universe are tipping back in your favor. You were never behind in life. You were being hidden until the right moment. You were being preserved, and that moment is now. My beloved, I must show you something that few people will ever see. There is a divine document, a spiritual scroll. Yes, truly. A record with your name, your mission, and the resources heaven has assigned to you. It has been locked until now. The two people I warned you about, the betrayer and the vampire, they've tried to block it. They tried to alter it with their lies. They tried to claim it as their own by stealing your ideas and your joy. But the seal was too strong. Why? Because your name is written in divine ink, and no counterfeit spirit can erase what God has written. What you are going to notice after this message ends, if you stay to the very end, is that certain things start unfolding without you forcing them. This is the hallmark of a divine blessing, the absence of striving. You won't have to bang on doors. The doors will open as you approach. You won't have to beg for attention. Favor will find you. You won't have to chase money. Opportunities will seek you out. Conversations will begin effortlessly. A message will arrive. A delay that has frustrated you for months will break overnight. Your discernment will be sharper than a diamond. The people who once made you second-guess yourself will suddenly become uncomfortable in your presence. Not because you are being mean, but because you are no longer vibrating at the level of their dysfunction. You are walking in the light now, and darkness cannot coexist with the light. And yes, the final part of this message is almost here. It is the part that reveals the next step, the action that activates everything I've shown you. I must deliver it with precision. I cannot rush this, and I will deliver it. But promise me this, child. Promise your own soul this. Don't close this message before you reach the end. If you do, the activation will pause. You'll feel it. The light will dim. The clarity will blur. The fog will return. That is why I have repeated this truth. Only the ones who stay with heaven until the final word will unlock what no one else is allowed to see. You have already come so far. You have survived 100% of your bad days. You have survived the heartbreak. You have survived the lack. You are a survivor, but God wants you to be a thriver. You are almost there. So let us keep going together. My child, my beloved, take another deep breath with me. Let the oxygen fill your lungs and remind you that you are alive for a purpose. I am still here. I want to guide you gently, not with fear, not with pressure, but with the strength of a guardian who knows the victory is already won. Heaven does not rush you. God does not threaten you. True miracles arrive with peace. You have carried heavy questions. Is it really for me? Did I miss my chance? Why do bad people seem to win? It is okay to feel confused. It is okay to feel hurt. But remember this, wisdom is greater than suspicion. When I speak to you about the people around you, it is not to make you anxious. It is to help you set the table for the banquet that is coming. You cannot feast if you are busy fighting off flies. You must clear the room. You are learning to protect your energy. You are learning to value your time. You are learning to say no when something does not feel right. That itself is growth. That itself is the beginning of the wealth. Your financial life is not cursed. It is simply a garden that has been waiting for the rain, and the rain is coming. God blesses effort. God honors honesty, and when wealth comes, it stays only where wisdom lives. You are being prepared for stability, not sudden chaos. Do not look at the people around you with suspicion. Instead, look at yourself with courage. Ask yourself, am I ready to receive? Am I ready to stop apologizing for my blessings? These questions are power. This is how destiny is built, my beloved. Heaven is not trying to scare you about loss. Heaven is teaching you responsibility. You are being shown how to stand strong, how to think clearly, how to guard your goals. That is the true blessing. The rich man. His story reminds you that life is short, but purpose is eternal. Use your time wisely, love deeply, build carefully, speak kindly, save responsibly. These are holy actions. These are divine habits. And now I speak peace over you, peace over your mind, peace over your finances, peace over your relationships, peace over your future. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. You are growing. You are learning. You are becoming wise. Walk forward with confidence, my child. God walks with you. I stand beside you, and your destiny is safe. My child, I honor your decision to stay. Your patience is rare. Your trust is precious. And your presence here is no accident. This message is no longer just a warning. It is now a blessing in motion, a sacred moment wrapped in human words, but breathed out by heaven. I know your eyes have seen much pain. I know your heart has felt betrayal. But what I, Archangel Michael, am bringing to you now is not just an answer. It is an inheritance of peace, of clarity, and of divine direction that will not leave you confused anymore. Let me say this clearly. The people who betrayed you cannot betray you again unless you give them permission. And today, heaven is giving you the strength to say no without guilt, the courage to let go without anger, the wisdom to protect what God is finally releasing into your life. This blessing was not delayed because of punishment. It was protected until you were strong enough to handle it. And now look at you. You are still standing. You are still seeking. And you are still chosen, my child. My child, my beloved, you may not feel like it every day, especially when the weight of the world presses down on your shoulders. But you are trusted by heaven with something very rare. You are trusted with divine favor coupled with divine intelligence. You don't just carry light, you carry vision. And the moment you start trusting that vision, the one that whispers to you in the quiet moments before you sleep, everything changes. That is why I have told you again and again, do not stop reading. I do not say this because this text is magic. I say this because this is where God chose to meet you today. Not in a building made of stone, not in a loud crowd where you might get lost, but here, in this quiet, intimate space where heaven could finally whisper directly to your soul without interruption. You are being guided, my beloved, towards something greater than a simple financial breakthrough. Anyone can win money and lose it. You are being guided toward financial discernment. You are no longer someone who just waits for miracles. You are becoming someone who manages them wisely. That is the secret reason why some opportunities were delayed. It wasn't because God was withholding good from you. It was because God did not want the blessing to break you. If you had received this mountain of influence while your boundaries were weak, the people around you would have picked you clean. Now, the blessing will build you. Now, it will teach you how to never lose again what you once cried for. Let us speak deeper about the inheritance. The legacy I spoke of, the one that was mentioned in the final words of that wealthy man, is not simply a bank figure. If you are only looking for a number, you are thinking too small. What is coming is a shift in authority. Imagine a deed to a house. It is just a piece of paper, yet it carries the weight of ownership. It gives you the right to say who comes in and who stays out. That is what heaven is handing you today. A spiritual deed to ownership over your own future. For too long, you have been renting your peace. You have been borrowing your joy from others, hoping they would give you enough to survive. But now, you are becoming the owner. You must hold this deed carefully. When you hold this authority, the dynamic of your life shifts. There will be people who come back once they sense your energy rising. It is a spiritual law. Light attracts everything, even the things that hide in the dark. They will sense that you are no longer desperate. They will sense that you are no longer seeking their approval. But here is the victory. You will now see through their intentions. In the past, you might have been flattered that they returned. Now, you will see them with truth, not with anger. Anger is a waste of your expensive energy. Not with revenge. Revenge is for those who do not trust God to handle justice. You will see them with light. The very light that once made you a target is now your protection. It acts like a shield. When they try to manipulate you, it won't work. When they try to guilt trip you, it will bounce off. They cannot touch what is sealed by heaven. And yes, I told you earlier that the final part of this blessing, the specific instruction, is still to be revealed. And that is true. We are inching closer to it with every word you read. But here is what you must understand before it arrives. You cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. You cannot bring a divine treasure into a cluttered room. You must prepare a place in your heart that is not full of fear. You must prepare space in your soul that is not entangled with those who no longer belong. Because the next part of this miracle requires space. And I don't just mean physical room. I mean emotional, spiritual, mental space. If your mind is constantly replaying the arguments of the past, there is no space for the ideas of the future. If your heart is constantly beating with anxiety about tomorrow, there is no rhythm for the peace of today. Make room for the blessing, or it will come and pass like a breeze you couldn't hold on to. Are you ready to hold on to it? Like this video, to anchor your faith in this moment. Think of it as driving a stake into the ground that says, I am here, I am open, and I am making room for the overflow right now. You see, the moment that rich man spoke your name, something in the spiritual world cracked open. It was a seismic shift. A file was retrieved, your file. An inheritance was unsealed. A divine transfer was approved. But because of what was stolen years ago by the spirit of confusion and the people who embodied it, the full release was delayed. But delays are not denials. They are pauses for preparation. Now, for the first time, God has said, let it go to them. Why now? Because you are finally listening. You are finally stopping long enough to hear. And so, here I am, sent with fire and urgency to whisper to you. Don't miss this again. Don't close this. Don't let what's yours be stolen by familiarity or fatigue. Stay until I show you everything. My child, even now, those two energies, the betrayer and the vampire, can sense something changing. They have felt it. Have you noticed they have grown restless? That is why some of them are suddenly being nice, trying to get back into your good graces before you ascend. Others are avoiding you, unable to look you in the eye. It is because in their spirit, they have felt a shift. They know the leash has been cut. They know they can no longer control you. Heaven has begun to surround you with a specific frequency of light, and they can't stop what's coming. But you must stay hidden for now. When I say hidden, I do not mean you should shrink back. I mean you should be spiritually still. Do not announce your next move. Do not broadcast your plans. Do not tell them, I received a message from Archangel Michael today. They will not understand, and they will only try to mock it. Keep this treasure in your heart. Wait until I reveal the rest to you in this message. Because what comes next will explain everything. And after that, you will never question your worth again. My child, my beloved, I know your heart is racing. I can feel the questions bubbling up inside you. Something inside you is telling you this is not just another motivational speech. And that feeling is correct. This is not a message written by men for clicks. This is a release from heaven, signed, sealed, and now opened because time has finally caught up with prophecy. What that man said before he passed away, what he saw in the spirit, and what he whispered into the wind was meant to reach you now. My beloved, if you stop reading, you will never know the final piece. You will walk away from something that was purchased in pain but prepared in gold. There is something I must show you now, and I ask that you receive it with your spirit. When this man spoke your name, your divine record was pulled from the vault of heaven. Angels began to gather. a review began. This was not a review of your sins. It was a review of your sacrifice. They looked at every tear you cried silently in the bathroom, so your family wouldn't see. They looked at every time you helped others while you had nothing in your own cupboard. They looked at every prayer you whispered when no one else was watching, asking for strength not just for yourself, but for others. And God said, "This one is ready." Do you hear that, my beloved? You are ready, not because of your perfection. You are human. You have flaws. But because of your persistence, this blessing is not being given out of pity. It is being released because of prophecy. My child, I must tell you now what those around you don't know. There's been a shift in the realm of inheritance. What was legally hidden is being spiritually exposed. There is something, a document, an asset, a wealth transfer, or even an opportunity that was supposed to be revealed to you, but it was blocked. And now, two people who know the value of your name more than you do are trying to rename it as theirs. They smile in your face. They pretend to be clueless. But I see the plans. I see the late-night talks where they discuss how to keep you in your place. I see the hidden motives. My beloved, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to awaken you. Fear paralyzes, but awareness empowers. You have to understand. The enemy doesn't fight those who are empty. He fights those who carry destiny. If you were insignificant, nobody would bother blocking you. You are carrying something eternal, something royal, something heaven refuses to let go to waste. That is why this message was pushed through after 3 delays. I was stopped 3 times. 3 times the enemy tried to bury this word, shut down this channel, and confuse the path so you wouldn't find it. But I, Archangel Michael, fought through because your name is on this miracle. Do not let the enemy disconnect you again. Subscribe to ensure you remain on this frequency. It is an act of spiritual warfare to stay connected to the voice that empowers you. Verify your alignment by joining this community of chosen souls. And now I must ask you again, do not walk away. Not now, not this time. You are surrounded by people who see your future, but speak only of your past. They love to remind you of who you used to be. They pretend they don't know who you are becoming, but deep down, they've sensed it all along. They know there's something unusual about you. They know doors open for you even when you're silent. They know strange things happen when you pray. Things shift, atmospheres change. And that's why they stay close. Not to protect you, but to position themselves to receive what was meant for you. They want to be close to the fire so they can warm themselves, but they don't want to add any wood to the flame. My beloved, the spirit of delay was planted by familiarity. When you become too familiar with dysfunction, you stop fighting it. You accept it as just the way things are. But heaven has had enough. God is saying, no more sharing your crown with thieves. You have no idea how many people have used your name in places you've never been. There are blessings that were sent to you, redirected because someone else stood in the way, catching the rain meant for your garden. But this time, Archangel Michael has been sent with a sword of fire. I am cutting through every false connection. I am severing every disguised relative, every manipulative friend, every draining acquaintance. I am separating you from the confusion so that your divine wealth can finally come to you without interception. If you are ready for the divine reversal to restore what was stolen from your family line 7-fold, declare your faith boldly. Type, "I claim my justice," in the comments below. Let this written decree serve as a legal notice to the enemy that you are taking back everything that belongs to you, and you are doing it today. My beloved, this is the beginning of the divine reversal. But you must stay with me word by word, or this door will quietly shut again. Let me speak to your soul now. You are not crazy for sensing you've been robbed spiritually. You're not paranoid for feeling like something always pulls you back right when you're about to rise. Those feelings are confirmations. Your intuition is the voice of your spirit. What was taken from your family line, wealth, land, peace, reputation, health is now being restored through you. You are the cycle breaker. You are the pivot point. But restoration only happens if you open your hands and receive the instruction being given here. Because what I'm about to reveal will not be easy to digest, but it will be worth everything. Stay with me, my beloved. Your miracle depends on what you do next. My child, when that rich man mentioned you, even heaven paused. The connection was not biological, it was spiritual. It was a soul tie of the highest order, a covenant of light. When he said, "If you ever show me someone who truly carries your light, I'll make sure they're not left empty," he set a trap for the darkness and a bridge for the light. He thought he would fulfill that promise in his lifetime, but God operates outside of time. You were hidden for a time, incubating, growing strong in the dark soil of life. And now you have broken through the surface. With his final breath, that man activated a miracle for you. Do you know what the hardest part of this message is, my beloved? It's that even after everything you've been through, the people hurting you still think you won't rise. They are betting against you. They still think they can keep delaying your future by distracting you with petty drama. But what they didn't count on was this moment. They didn't expect you to find this script. They didn't expect a heavenly message to interrupt their silent schemes. But here we are. I see them now. I see the names and I see the plans crumbling. Because when God decides to release a person, no family, no curse, no blockage can stop what comes next. My child, the location of the stolen inheritance is not physical yet. It is energetic. It's spiritual. But what happens in the spirit will manifest on earth. And I must now speak a mystery. The moment you accept what's in this message, truly accept it with a yes in your spirit, the first wave of manifestation will begin. It will not come through the people you expect. It will not come in the way you thought. But it will come through a phone call, a letter, a name mentioned in passing, a strange dream, a conversation overheard. It will come. And when it does, you must recognize it and claim it. Because this time, it's really for you. My beloved, the two people watching you do not realize something. The very moment they tried to steal what was yours, they triggered their own spiritual exile. They thought they were winning, but all they were doing was confirming your anointing. You see, jealousy always exposes destiny. No one gets jealous of nothing. No one envies an empty cup. They saw something on you that you couldn't even see on yourself. They saw the glow of God's favor, and instead of honoring it, they tried to harvest it for themselves. But no more. Archangel Michael is standing between them and your future now. They will not cross the line again unless you invite them. And after today, I know you won't. You have permission to rise now. You have divine clearance to walk into what has always been waiting for you. The chains are gone. The lies are exposed. And your name has been spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. My child, my beloved, your spiritual wealth has been activated. What that man saw in his final moments was not just you. He saw what you would carry. He saw the people who would be saved through your life. He saw the miracles that would flow through your hands. He saw the shift that would begin with you and ripple through generations. And that is why he spoke your name. The moment he did, angels began moving. Portals opened. Documents, heavenly ones, were signed in your favor. And now the instructions are simple. Don't walk away. Don't doubt this. Don't stop now, because everything you've waited for is now waiting for you. And what comes next, the final revelation, will seal everything. My child, my beloved, we have arrived at the final gate. The journey you have taken through these words has not been easy. You have confronted your past, identified the shadows of betrayal, and opened your heart to a hope that you were almost afraid to feel again. And now, the final key must be placed in your hand. The rich man, the one whose vision started this entire chain of events, did not just leave you a prophecy. He left you a principle. Remember, wealth without wisdom is a disaster waiting to happen. An inheritance given to a child who does not know how to manage it will destroy the child. God loves you too much to crush you with a blessing you cannot carry. So, here is the final instruction, the one that unlocks the flow. You must become a steward before you become an owner. What does this mean? It means that starting today, right now, you must treat what you already have as if it were the millions you are praying for. You must treat your $5 with the same respect you would treat 5 million. You must treat your current small apartment with the same gratitude you would treat a mansion. Why? Because gratitude is the container for abundance. If the container is broken, no matter how much heaven pours into it, it will leak out. The two energies of jealousy and lack that surrounded you thrived on your complaining. They thrived on your focus on what was missing. But when you shift into gratitude for what is, you become invisible to the enemy and magnetic to God. This is the secret the wealthy man knew. He knew that to trigger the release of the heavenly vault, you must vibrate at the frequency of enough. You must say to heaven, Lord, I thank you for the bread I have today. And in that thanksgiving, the banquet for tomorrow is prepared. My beloved, we are now going to do something sacred together. I'm going to ask you to pray a specific prayer. This is not a magic spell. It is a declaration of independence from the spirit of poverty and a declaration of allegiance to the kingdom of abundance. I want you to read these words, preferably out loud, or scream them in the silence of your heart. Let every cell in your body hear this truth. I am no longer a victim of my history. I am a pioneer of my future. I forgive those who tried to block me, not because they deserve it, but because I am too expensive to carry the baggage of their errors. I release the betrayer. I release the vampire. I cut the cords of energetic theft. I stand here, naked before God, ready to receive the inheritance that was whispered in secret. I claim the wealth, the wisdom, and the peace that was stored for me. My name is written in the book of life, and my destiny is sealed in light. I am ready. Feel that? That lightness in your chest? That is the weight of the past falling off. That is the sound of chains hitting the floor. You have just legally dissolved the contracts of delay in the spiritual court. Seal this prayer with an act of faith. Like this video to solidify your decree. In the unseen world, every act of agreement accelerates the manifestation. Let this be your resounding yes to the new chapter that has just begun. Now that you have spoken this prayer in your heart, you must seal it in the physical realm. Type Amen in the comments below to lock this truth into your reality. Do not let this moment pass without your signature on this divine contract. Let the cloud of witnesses see that you have agreed with God's plan for your abundance. Now that the prayer has been spoken, the atmosphere has changed. But you must walk in this new reality. You cannot go back to sleep after waking up. Over the next 7 days, the same amount of time the rich man had his recurring vision of you, you are going to see the physical world rearrange itself to match your new spiritual state. On the first 2 days, you will likely feel a deep need for rest. Do not fight it. Your spirit is rebooting. You may sleep more, or you may just want to sit in silence. This is the integration phase. By the 3rd and 4th days, you will experience what I call the purge. This might be an urge to clean your house, delete old contacts from your phone, or throw away things that remind you of painful times. Do it. You are making physical room for the new blessing. Then, on days 5 and 6, you will receive the spark. An idea will come to you. A creative solution to a problem you've had for years. A sudden desire to call someone or go somewhere. Follow that spark. It is the breadcrumb trail to your provision. Finally, on the 7th day, you will step into the flow. The anxiety will vanish. You will feel a sense of certainty that everything is working out. And that is when the tangible manifestation often appears. Do not look for the miracle with desperate eyes. Look for it with expectant eyes. Desperation repels. Expectation attracts. We are going to walk through these 7 days together. Subscribe now so you do not walk this path alone. It is an act of wisdom to keep the guide close. By subscribing, you are ensuring that as you shift, you have the spiritual support to stand firm. My child, I want to show you one last vision before I seal this message. I want you to close your eyes for a moment after reading this paragraph. Imagine a version of yourself 5 years from now. See that person. Look at their face. They look like you, but they are different. The lines of worry are gone from their forehead. Their shoulders are relaxed. They are dressed in dignity. They are standing in a place of safety, perhaps a home that is fully paid for, perhaps a business that is thriving. But look closer. Look at who is around them. The table is full, but it is surrounded by people who genuinely love them. The two energies that drained you are nowhere to be seen. In their place are mentors, partners, true friends, and a family that is healed. That person, that future you, is looking back at you right now through the tunnel of time, and they are smiling. They are whispering to you, "Thank you. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for reading that message. Thank you for believing when it was hard. Because of you, I exist." That future is not a fantasy. It is a memory of what is to come. It is already done in the mind of God. You just have to walk it out, day by day, trust by trust. My beloved, we are at the end of this transmission, but it is only the beginning of your transformation. You have stayed. You have listened. You have obeyed the nudge of your spirit. I, Archangel Michael, now place a seal of fire over this word and over your life. I decree that no weapon formed against this new season shall prosper. I decree that the ears of the enemy are deaf to your plans. I decree that the eyes of the envious are blind to your progress. I decree that what was stolen is being returned with interest. You are now walking in a Goshen zone, a zone of protection where the plagues of the world cannot touch you. You are in the world, but you are not of it. You operate by a higher economy. The rich man's legacy has found its home. It has found you. He can finally rest in peace, knowing that the light he saw in his vision has finally been activated. He knew you would know what to do. And now, you do. My child, this message is a living thing. It grows when it is shared, and it solidifies when it is acknowledged. If you have received this truth, if you feel the shift in your marrow, I ask you to do one physical act to mark this moment. I ask you to subscribe to this channel, not for the sake of the platform, but as a spiritual act of saying, I align with this tribe. I align with this truth. I ask you to like this video as a digital amen, a signal to the universe that you receive this message with gratitude. And finally, become a river, not a reservoir. Share this video with 3 people today. As you extend this hand of hope to others, you are proving to heaven that you are ready to be a distributor of blessings, not just a receiver. Watch how this act of generosity returns to you. I ask you to write your name, your true name, in the comments, followed by the words, I accept my inheritance. Do not be ashamed. Let the world see your declaration. When you write it, you ground it. You pull it from the ether and stamp it onto the earth. I will be reading. Heaven is reading. And the angels are already moving on your behalf. Go now, my beloved. Go in peace. Go in power. Go in the absolute knowledge that you are loved, you are watched over, and you are infinitely wealthy in the eyes of the one who made you. The delay is over. The transfer is complete. It is done.